Well, we're joined now by Biju Menon, who is the founder of Nottx. Very lovely to meet you, Biju. Thanks for coming onto the programme.
Thank you.
A really, really interesting concept, this. Why do you think there is a need for this kind of technology in a recruitment process?
Many job seekers out there is not getting opportunity to sit in front of interviewer and express their candidature. And on the other hand, many candidates self-exclude themselves because they don't feel confident to be part of the recruitment process. So what blind hiring does is it takes away the bias from the screening process, which helps candidates be part of the end-to-end hiring process, including interviews, shortlisting, and so on.
How does it do that?
So we use the principle of anonymity in the initial stages. So we take a name, gender, ethnicity, and even a university from the CV, and we also make sure the covering letter are de-biased. By doing so, hiring managers can select the candidates applying purely looking into the merits, abilities, and achievements, which is a small step, but it's a giant leap for the job seekers out there.
Do you have any evidence that this is working?
Lots of. I mean, there are a lot of studies. We ourselves saw 141% increase in the candidates applying, as well as almost 58% of women getting to the interview stages, which is a significant change compared to how the process was a few years ago. And more importantly, we saw 30% increase in ethnic diverse candidates getting hired. And all these factors put together, we feel the scene in the recruitment world is changing.
I wonder whether, I mean, there's one thing to get more people into the process, and another to be able to get them to an interview stage. But surely at that point, conscious bias or unconscious bias starts to kick back in again, because it's a face-to-face interview.
Absolutely. So what we do there, we use the principle of accountability. The technology that we built in can detect patterns of decision making. So let's say a hiring panel over a period of 8 to 12 months ends up hiring only men, even after women getting to the process. The stakeholders or the leadership get to know, oh, there is a problem. So there is clear evidence where they can tackle by creating intervention programs like training and so on. And what that does is it makes hiring managers very conscious about their biases. And from there onwards, it will help them to change the way they think.
That's very interesting, actually, Biju, because talking about how conscious you are of your own bias, to actually come to your company and ask you for help is an admission, isn't it, by whatever company you're working with, that we have a problem. Are people willing to admit that kind of problem?
No. So there is a lot of evangelism required. I think there's a role government has to play here to make it a bit more under the legal framework. South Korea has taken a lead there. They're almost legalizing blind hiring as a process. So yes.
Well, making it obligatory, are they?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. You wouldn't have thought that South Korea would be pioneering at this kind of thing.
Why is it important to have a diverse workforce? Why does it matter?
It's about diversity of perspectives that comes to a decision-making room. Candidate coming through impoverished background, they bring a street smartness. They bring a different perspective than someone who has studied in elite universities. Just imagine those old perspectives of different kinds coming to a problem-solving situation, and that can change. And this is why McKinsey has said that the diverse organizations started performing better than non-diverse organizations. I think they came up with the stats like more gender-diverse organizations are 15% more likely to be successful, and ethnic diverse organizations are 35% more likely to be successful. And they are facts.
Okay, that's really interesting. What next for your company? Because this seems like something that's a great idea, perhaps to be rolled out across a range of companies, but it feels like a sort of a one-trick pony. What do you do beyond this?
So we work with partner organizations to make sure it's just not only technology that is required to change this, it's also beyond that. So we want to make sure organizations are inclusive. We also want to make sure organizations broadcast to the wider audience that they are doing fair practices, because unless candidates get to know there is a fair recruitment practice, they wouldn't be wanting to be part of it.
Okay, Biju Menon, it's lovely to talk to you.
Oh, pleasure.
Thank you so much, Biju. Thank you. Now, all this week we've been looking